Oh, there it is, Chastain. Push comes to shove, and Gregson's in the wall. Larson's around, and Larson up the racetrack in traffic, and he collects Preece. Hard hit. Good grief. Saw that. He got to pushing him hard. Chastain was pushing Noah very hard.
Buddy Baker, who has a lot of sentiment among veteran observers, as one of the real threats.
Oh, we have a problem.
Is blowing a tire.
Bobby Allison with a horrible crash here on the front stretch. It has torn out a complete section of protective railing separating it. Alan Kulwicki becomes involved.
Debris and is collecting other cars. There was a lot of debris in the front stretch. Kulwicki was involved. Richard Petty, I think, is another one of the cars. Lots of debris on the front stretch. Now, Bobby's car, to me, appeared to stay together quite well. He did get up into the fencing, but not into the stands.
And it was close, though. He has torn out a whole large area of guardrail there.
Two cars get that big a lit run on them. I don't know that the 39 and the 88 can catch them.
They're in the draft of Edwards and Keselowski.
He's all over you here, just you and him.
Carl Edwards restarted 8th.
If that 09 can stay hooked to the back of that 99, it's going to be hard to get him. It's going to be close right here at the line.
Can Keselowski try to win it?
I don't know. I don't think he can step out until he waits till the last second and picks up.
He goes to the outside. Is Edwards going?
Oh, no!
He turns him.
No, no.
Oh, and that destroyed the front end of Newman's car.
No.
Edwards will not make it to the flag.
Oh,
Brad Keselowski into the picture. Pushed by Casey Mears. Kenseth with Harvick behind him. Oh, there's contact.
Get out of you now.
Stewart into the middle of the pack and over.
Fortune's out.
And a huge wreck to end this race. Matt Kenseth is going to get to the finish line first.
Now, is he going to win the Winston 500? Jimmy Spencer is second. They come through the tri-oval. Checkered is waving. Ernie Irvan wins, and Rusty spins and gets airborne and flips wildly right at the start-finish line. Very reminiscent of his accident at Daytona. What a way.
Yeah, he's moving. I see him moving around in the car.
Here comes that 98 and the 88 tandem in the middle of the track. Johnny Sauter, he won at Daytona earlier this year. Can he do it again? They wreck behind him. They're rolling behind him. Now the 88 spins. Thor Sport is going to win. It's going to be Johnny Sauter that will get the win, but they wreck behind him.
Matt Crafton has not got to the start-finish line yet.
And they're still wrecking.
His father won 10 times. Oh, we got a car sideways in the trail. The out and somebody upside down. Elliott Sadler again lands on his wheel.
That's why he's doing what he's doing. He's just mirror driving all over the racetrack. Oh, trouble. Elliott Sadler over once and a half and on his roof. Now the car tumbling hard onto the pavement in turn 3. Caution is out. A terrible crash.
Could be.
Yeah, could be.
He could be trying to dodge that 8 car.
Car flew in the air a long ways before it hit anything. And now the banking kicks the car back to the left. Trouble now. Keselowski's got on the hard side. Look out, they're going to go around. Oh, big crash. Oh, and up into the wall. Look out. The caution is out. The race will finish.
And the caution is out. Jordan Anderson. We talked about Jordan being in the field, and man, there is a lot of fire.
On fire, but get out.
Oh, man. Get that thing stopped.
And that's a big hit. Oh,
wow.
My goodness. Wow.
That was, he didn't know where he was. He couldn't see.
Earnhardt on the inside and Sterling Marlin outside.
And Ernie going with Earnhardt down on the inside. That's going to hit. Oh, they touch trouble.
Terrible crash. Front of the field all torn up.
Earnhardt's number 3. Head on into the wall at 190 miles an hour.
He almost got it.
Of Talladega's turns in the number 41 Chevy. Trouble in turn number 1. Mark spins out of control. The whole pack is involved. Cars tumbling through the air. Over on twisting around and hit again as it comes back to the bottom of the racetrack in the corner. A savage crash in turn 1. Several cars involved.
I remember waking up in Birmingham Hospital, and they had a small TV in the room, and I saw a clip of the wreck. And I said to my wife, boy, I feel sorry for that son of a gun. I had no idea how bad it was. I had no idea how ugly it looked.
Labonte blocks Bobby Hamilton. Cannot believe it. Contact. Bobby Labonte's over. It's the big wreck on the final lap. They're racing back for the win. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Tony Stewart are side by side. This is for the victory as Jeff Burton gets in the middle of.
You're leading the race, Jay Sauter, and everything's going fine. You think you're in the right place, doing a good job. All of a sudden, a bunch of cars go by you on the outside, and you're still wide and say, "Roll, what?
Whoa, trouble!"
Boy,
the 2-car upside down, over and on to Scott Riggs. It's the big one.
Oh boy, who is that still flipping?
Sauter. It was Johnny Sauter.
There's not anybody left.
I mean, I only see about 4 or 5 cars that are coming around through 3 and 4 right now that were not in this race. They see Mike McLaughlin in 18. They're still getting upside down. Cars driving under cars. There has to be 25 cars over there.
There's Michael Waltrip. Damaged Lyndon Amick. And you see the 2 of Johnny Sauter.
Here comes
Scott Riggs, last week's winner.
Here comes our leader, Stacy Compton.
Jason Keller, Kenny Wallace,
Kevin Grubb, who has come from 38th up to the top 5.
Todd go down with damage.
A bit of damage on the front end.
Not much.
Jeff Purvis.
Drivers climbing out. There is Ron Hornaday.
Look at that
going over toward Jamie McMurray.
Shane Mill in the 47 car.
Youngest driver in the race at age 21. Nemechek wrecked.
What a mess.
Coy Gibbs out of his car, and his teammate Mike McLaughlin is the car that landed on top of him. Kind of reminiscent of a big Daytona wreck. Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte ended up that way.
I don't know if I've ever seen a wreck this big in a Busch Series race here. I don't know if I've seen a wreck this big, maybe even in a Cup event.
One time here in back in the 70s, Tiny Lund was in it, a lot of other guys, and
23 cars that
23
one, I think.
cars, yeah.
Jimmy Spencer, mangled nose on his car. You saw Kerry Earnhardt's damage.
The problem we have with the racing at Daytona and Talladega is this. You cannot have a single or even a couple of car incident. You run 43 cars on top of each other, you're going to have a big wreck.
Randy LaJoie. There's Nemechek. He is okay. We also saw Ron Hornaday walking away. And we'll update you as we get news on the other drivers. They're assisting Mike.
Well, we saw that at Daytona. You know, those guys in the Fords, they complained about their cars, and they raced pretty darn good.
Uh-oh, Kyle caught up. The field accordion's back.
Whoa, man.
Trouble. Stewart in the wall.
Here we go. Here we go.
Robbie Gordon's in it. The 33. Harvick is around.
Here we go, guys.
The big one.
It's just a matter of time.
At least 20 cars.
The way this started, Kyle Petty ran up high going into turn 1. And as he tried to find a place in line, the whole field kind of accordioned together. Mayhem.
Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, there they go. There we go. There was no way.
Oh, it's Kurt Busch up and over. Boyer's in it. Bobby Labonte's in it. Stremmy's in it. Jeff Gordon down to the grass.
Nothing else coming from behind you.
And Kurt Busch went over and over.
Boyer, McMurray.
We're going to finish here.
That's Mike Wallace in the 7 car, Stephen Wallace in the 66, and David Stremme in another car owned by Rusty. Oh, we got a spin. It's a tap from Wallace.
Right behind you.
Oh, the big one in turn 1, heavy contact, cars in the wall. Stephen Wallace heavily damaged. There comes Kyle Krisiloff down. David Rudiman involved. Oh, heavy damage on Stephen Wallace's Chevy.
See the intensity level coming up on these guys.
We saw Mike Wallace look like he was going below David Rudiman right here, but they ran up on a slower car. Wow.
Right. Man.
That's Kevin LePage's 61 that Carl Edwards went up across the back of. And then it all broke loose behind him. Cars slipping and sliding. Kelly Byers involved. Brad Keselowski, watch again.
Oh, you see what happened here. This 61 was not up to speed, and it's almost like you know, these guys moved over and didn't see him.
Had no idea that he was coming out. You know, they did. I'm sure that the spotters up there saw him on the apron. They weren't expecting him to come and join back right in front of the leaders. That's just a very unfortunate situation and a mistake on Kevin's part and his spotter. You know, quite honestly, somebody's got to be telling him, and he has to know that these leaders are coming, because he just messed up a lot of cars and drivers' chances.
That's the